Greetings, Glendale Christian family. I'm happy to be able to speak to you today, and I'm going to share with you the content of a letter that we sent out to our church family via email and also via the church app. Here's what it says. Dear Glendale Christian family, our elders and pastors have been regularly monitoring the guidance being given by the Arizona Department of Health Services in connection with the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic. Since March, the Arizona Department of Health and Governor Ducey have recommended the canceling of mass gatherings as a safety measure to slow the spread of the virus and protect those who are most vulnerable to it. And we've been meeting exclusively online in response to that guidance. Last week, the Arizona DHS and Governor Ducey announced that data show Arizona is ready for a gradual and phased-in return, and the statewide shelter-in-place orders expired last Friday. Additionally, they have released specific guidance for places of worship, with recommendations for best practices to assist in limiting the transmission of COVID-19 should someone unknowingly infected with the virus attend a worship service. Under this new guidance, churches are encouraged to put recommended precautions in place when they return to in-person services. So after carefully reviewing the Arizona Department of Health recommendations for stuff like physical distancing between groups and modifying certain practices, to ensure that we can meet them, the elders and pastors believe that we can safely resume in-person services starting Sunday, May 31st. Here's what we were initially planning, and it's going to look a little bit different. We're only going to have one family service at 9:30 a.m. There will be no first-hour children's church, and so children will remain in service for the entire time. And there will be no second-hour Sunday school classes for children or adults. And we are not going to be able to offer nursery or toddler care at this time. The service is going to be held in the MPR, where we are able to accommodate the recommended 6 feet physical distance between attendees who are not in the same group or party. None of the other buildings are going to be open. So we're asking that you, if you're going to come to service, that you plan to park and enter from the MPR from the east parking lot. What that does is reserve spaces in the north and south parking lots for some of our members who have difficulty walking. Those with difficulty walking are encouraged to park in those north and south spots and enter via the sidewalk ramps in those parking areas and enter the MPR through the courtyard. Chairs in the MPR are going to be set up in various groupings, and we will ask you to sit in a grouping that corresponds to the size of your family or party. So a family of 4 will sit in a grouping of 4 chairs together. A couple will pick 2 chairs together. And all of these groupings are separated from other groupings by 6 feet. We ask that you be patient with us as the ushers assist you in finding a proper sized grouping, or if necessary, they move chairs for you to complete a proper sized grouping for your party. The use of a face covering is encouraged but not required. We will have some face masks on hand if you forgot yours or don't have one and wish to use one. We will not have congregational singing due to the greater potential for aerosol spread of the virus if someone is unknowingly infected. Instead, for the next few weeks, we'll be exploring alternate ways to express worship to God until we can safely resume congregational singing again. Communion will be distributed by ushers in gloves and face masks who will come to you and place communion elements in your hand. In regards to offering, boxes or ushers with a basket will be at the doors at the end of service to collect any offering that you've not given online. We will be discouraging some of the social practices that could spread the virus if someone is unknowingly infected. The cafe and the playground will remain closed until further notice. We will not hold a meet and greet, and we ask you to avoid arriving too early or hanging around after service to socialize. It's best to hold off on our typical handshakes, hugs, and high fives, and instead give the holy hand wave or an edifying elbow bump. We're provisionally planning for at least some of our Thursday night studies to resume on Thursday, June 4th. More details will be forthcoming from the group leaders of those groups. If you are sick or presenting flu-like symptoms, we ask you to refrain from joining us in person until you have recovered. And if you are in a vulnerable category, adults that are 65 and over, and people of all ages who have underlying medical conditions, we encourage you to refrain from joining us in person and to continue to join us online. If you test positive for COVID-19, please let us know. We hope that you hear through these procedures that we consider your physical health and safety a top priority. We have built these procedures based on the most current recommendations made by medical professionals in our state who have firsthand experience with the virus. We see these precautions as a necessary implication of Jesus' command to love one another, and we would rather err on the side of caution than risk the health of any of our dear members or guests by acting too cavalierly. We realize that some of you feel that we might be moving too quickly and may be uncomfortable gathering in person in a large group setting at this time. Additionally, we realize that others may prefer to remain home for a variety of other legitimate reasons, for illness or because they're in a vulnerable category or live with someone who's in a vulnerable category and so forth. For all these reasons, we will continue to offer worship services online via YouTube so that you can be involved in worship with us even if you're not present with us physically. A few final items. Firstly, all of these procedures are subject to change as we see how the reopening of our state progresses. We remain committed to act in accordance with the best guidance given by our state and national health experts, and we will continue to monitor that guidance and will adjust our practices accordingly. Hopefully, we will continue to see a downward trend in new COVID-19 cases in Arizona and can reopen more activities, more Thursday night classes and Sunday morning Sunday school and resuming congregational singing as the viral impact diminishes. Secondly, the church office is open to the public for our regular operating hours, and we ask that you practice good health etiquette if you visit the office in person. Thirdly, if you are experiencing financial or practical challenges during the season, please let us know what is going on so we can see how we might be able to help or connect you with resources that can help. One of our pastors or elders would be honored to talk on the phone or visit with you, to pray with you, to bring communion with you, etc. Please contact me at 602-380-4705, my mobile phone, if you want to arrange this. And finally, we want to keep it for you that our church is wholly supported by the regular giving of our members. And we encourage you to continue giving as you are able to support the ministries that are ongoing here and for the ministries and missionaries we support worldwide. Feel free to contact the church office if you need information on how to give, either through the app or church website with automatic bill pay, through your bank or through the mail, etc., if you're not able to be here on a Sunday morning. Our prayers continue to be with each of you, together for Jesus, on behalf of the GCC elders and pastors.